Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 17th of December. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director of Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Nanosonics, Cenex Energy, Monash IVF, 5G Networks and Kogan. So if you have a request, send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but if you're after better tips, make sure you try out the Dynamic Investor, which is our main research report that's sent out every Tuesday. If you enjoy these videos though, we'd love you to leave a message on Google or Facebook, and we'd also love you to share them on social media. But remember that our main business is portfolio management, so if you want to work with me directly, please let me know and I can explain how that works. And all the advice here, of course, is general only. So we've got a daily chart here of Nanosonics. It's obviously trading really well. This is one that in the Dynamic Investor report here under $6, we identified the breakout. And as we could see, it's had a very strong rally since then. So the trend remains quite strong. Again, despite it looking overbought here, it's managed to kick on another 10%. So very strong trend. So I'm happy to hold it for now. Of course, it's likely to consolidate. So you don't really want to be adding just yet up here, because if we have a look at sort of this peak and this peak here, it's right in that zone. So yeah, that could offer some resistance, and it'd be healthy for the stock to then just consolidate a bit and come back, and then that would be the next entry point. But I wouldn't be chasing it up here very close to these resistance levels. Okay, Cenex. So I think since the March lows, the move high has been quite orderly. We could see quite clearly all the higher highs, higher lows, trending very well. So at the moment it's coming back. It just needs to hold this prior low here in November. So the low point in November just needs to hold on to that. So I wouldn't want to be buying something back on the way down. So we just need to wait for, a reversal here, and once it's on the way back up, then at least you know it's on the way back up. And that would be the buy zone. Of course, if it falls under here, that's an instant sell. So MVF, so we could see that there was a bit of resistance here at 65, broke higher, and then just a classic case of finding resistance at a prior high. So it's come all the way back into this range. Now it looks like this consolidation here is possibly over, so we've got this sort of big strong day up here. So that was, in my opinion, a buy signal, so close to support, big strong day up. Now, yesterday's close, I'll just zoom in a bit. I mean, it does look a bit weak, so, we're going to get another sort of higher low. I think if you're still looking to buy it, what I'd like to see is basically if it sort of can gap up today and at least have a bit more of a solid day, then that would look a lot better. And that I think this consolidation might be enough to have it retest this and try to push beyond that level. 5G, so look, it still remains in a downtrend. I mean, this is one we covered a few times during this run up here, but obviously this weakness here was no good for the stock. So still looking quite weak. We've still got this downtrend here. However, on a positive note, we're starting to see some divergence on the RSI. So we could see that during this little period here in December, the share price is headed lower, whereas here on the RSI, we could see it's already heading higher. So that could lead to a bit of a bounce. Could just be a very small bounce and then it continues on the way down. So for me, I'd prefer to see it, if we get a bounce pretty soon. I think this level around $1.50 seems to be fairly key. So if we could get some kind of reversal here, and if we could close above $1.50 with a bit of volume coming in, then I'd be content that this move is over, and that for me would be the buy signal to see higher levels. Okay, finally Kogan. So for this one, we've seen I think a typical sort of A, B, C correction. So for those who follow Elliott wave, you've got a 3-wave decline, and also if we measure wave A and compare that to wave C, we could see, if I zoom in a bit more, that's easier for you. So we could see that the length of this is 1.6 times wave A. So I guess sort of classic Elliott wave, that's an ABC correction. And then it's jumped higher. So I have to admit, I bought this one for a few clients. Basically on the gap up here, we could see the sort of the buy signal here on the RSI, the crossing on the MACD. Hasn't really kicked on much, but I like the fact that it's just consolidated sideways. So we've got this little range here, which is good. And to me, it looks like it wants to pop its head above the top here, keep running. So basically, if it pops its head above there, that's the next buy signal. Obviously, if it starts to deteriorate down here, I'd be out pretty quick. But yeah, look, at the moment, after a consolidation, I think it looks like it wants to head higher. All right, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through. I'll try to include yours next Thursday.